Hey guys, just finished reading Bloodlad by Yuki Kodama, and I'm here with my review of it. Uh, it's a good book. It's two in one, so you get your money's worth with it. It's quite thick. Comes with some nice color pages, and the art is really good. Um, Nothing too greatly special about it. I mean, the color pages are really nice, but the actual artwork itself, there's nothing particularly unique about it. It's very typical of shonen manga. Um, but basically, it centers around Staz, who is a vampire, a very powerful vampire. He owns territory in the demon world, so he's like the boss of a territory. So he already starts off very powerful. He doesn't actually need to gain any powers. He's pretty much powerful from the get go. But unlike your sort of average perceived vampire, who's like a noble upperclassman, Staz is a otaku. He's pretty much obsessed with everything that's Japanese games, manga, anime, you know, um, models, figures, all that sort of stuff, and basically spends most of his time, if not all of his time, indulging in these Japanese pastimes and yearning to go to the human world and go specifically to Japan to experience exactly what it's like. So, that aspect of it is quite funny. Because you wouldn't expect a vampire who owns territory in the demon world and has these immensely powerful talents to be just basically a bit of a sleaze and lazy around and doing nothing with his time other than playing games and being a otaku. So yeah, that aspect of it's really funny. But basically, there's not going to be any spoilers in this video. I'm just going to basically lay the foundation of the series and basically tell you the basic premise of it, which isn't particularly any spoiler information. So yeah, Staz is doing what he's doing normally, just playing games, and he gets a call from one of his subordinates saying that a human has just stumbled into the demon world, and they don't know what to do with her, but they think Staz will be interested in it because it's a Japanese schoolgirl. So immediately Staz is very excited and tells them to bring her straight to his room. So there she is, Fumi Yanagi. A very typical female character for this genre, She's very sexed up, big tits, short skirt, that sort of thing. But it's still kind of interesting because he starts questioning her, asking about Final Fantasy, and there's a joke somewhere where she tells him that she tells him that they made sequels to the Final Fantasy games, and Staz is like, "What? But why did they keep calling it Final?" It's just pretty funny how he can just be so relaxed, and she's like, "What the hell's going on?" She doesn't understand that she's in the demon world because she's completely confused. And he just wants to talk to her about anime and manga and all them kind of things, and as well he's instantly attracted to her, not just because she's human but because she's Japanese and she's a schoolgirl, and his perception of girls really are from what he watches from anime and reads in manga. So because she fits that kind of description, he's just instantly hooked on her. But as he's talking and conversating with her about manga and anime, he gets a challenge. Basically, somebody enters into his territory and challenges him, because that's how it works. That's how you become the boss of a territory in the demon world. You basically challenge the current leader of that territory, and if you win, you become the new boss of that territory. So basically, somebody comes and challenges him, and he has to go out and fight. It dispatches him pretty easily. Where is it? Yeah, the way he kills him is pretty badass, because the way Stars uses his abilities, he's almost like psychic. So he can basically, what he does is he crushes his heart just with his psychic ability, which is pretty cool. But in the meantime, while he's out here fighting this guy, because this guy uses like big Venus flytrap kind of monsters, like plant monsters. In the meantime, while Stars is fighting him, one of his monsters sneaks up into Staz's room and kills Fuyumi. Basically, you can see her bones being spat out there. And that's basically the premise of the story. Where it goes from there is Staz vows to bring her back to life, because she's killed, but she comes back as a ghost and becomes a demon, and basically belongs to the demon realm, so she can't go back to the human world without basically disappearing. So that's the basic premise of the story. Staz trying to return her to a human body, and restore her life. One thing I like about this series is that there's heavy elements of comedy in it. There's quite a few jokes in it where it's like outside references. Like there's a joke where Fumi makes a joke about how because Staz is talking to her so much and she can't get a word in edgeways, she makes like a little outside joke saying, "Oh, I'm not going to get much character development, if it goes like this." So that was pretty cool. The fan service is pretty light. It's not too in your face, even though all the main female characters have got big boobs and skimpy outfits. It's not too in your face where they're just like pushing their tits up, in the panels. The side female characters are kind of flat chested, which is personally I noticed that straight away. So it's just sale value. Sex sells. So of course that just happens sometimes. It's easily overlooked. What else can I say? The thing is, because it's so heavy on the comedy, it doesn't lend itself to any need for character development or any strong character development for that matter. Like I said before, Staz is already very powerful. Don't get me wrong, there is character development, especially with Staz. Later on in the volume, he gets a rival and an old friend, as you can see on the cover here. Wolf, who's the boss of a larger territory in the demon world and basically equal in strength to Staz. And it goes on like Staz's older brother comes into it and stuff. So yeah, there is room for development with Staz. But for Yumi, for that matter, it started off good, but she doesn't really lend any purpose other than to be Staz's damsel in distress, so to speak. She's over emotional. When Staz and Wolf are fighting, like having a bit of a tournament, she starts crying and says, "Oh, you're friends. You guys shouldn't be fighting." And it's just a light-hearted fight. They're having a boxing match, and it's not too serious, but she takes it all too seriously, and I find that kind of annoying. And it's just, I can't really take any character seriously like that. I don't. She kind of reminds me of Orihime from Bleach, who she's got the potential to have character development and become something of herself, but she just doesn't. She just ends up being the damsel in distress. So I'm hoping in the later volumes that she does become more of a prominent character, even though she's essentially the second main character. But so far in this first volume, I don't really like her character. She's just pretty pathetic, and that's actually quite funny because even the characters, I think Staz makes a joke when he's sitting around with some of his goons that she's actually kind of pathetic and she needs to stop crying all the time. So that was pretty funny. But other than that, she's kind of boring, really. Because it's so essential on Staz, some of the side characters can somewhat feel a little bit neglected, like this guy here, Yoshida. He's a mimic, so basically he can impersonate like any person. And when Staz and Fumi plan to go to the human world to, I won't say exactly why they go there, but Staz and Fumi go to the human world, but because Staz is the boss of the territory, he can't leave. So Dek, who's like Staz's right-hand man, introduces him to Yoshida, who basically plans for Yoshida to mimic Staz while he's away from the demon world, so they don't arouse suspicion. And I thought that was pretty cool, but they don't really. It doesn't really go anywhere from that. There's no sort of like drama with Yoshida, trying to become the role of Staz, trying to become the temporary boss of that his territory. It doesn't really go anywhere from that, which I was kind of disappointed with. It more focuses on Staz and Wolf and Fumi. So that I thought was a little bit iffy. So I'm hoping in future volumes it'll kind of speed up a little bit and characters that were neglected kind of stand out a little bit more. Maybe I'm hoping for too much, but other than that, like I said, the artwork is really nice. It comes with some pretty cool color pages. The artwork is really good, and there are some real laugh out loud elements. You know, some of the jokes are genuinely funny. But other than that, you know, it's not bad. I'd say it's average at best. I'd give it maybe a 6.5 out of 10. That's sort of an average rating. So, you know, I will be picking up more volumes because there is actually interesting elements of the story. It just took a while to pick up. It's only really in the last 2 or 3 chapters that it really got interesting for me. Well, the last 2 or 3 chapters of the second volume, really, because it's 2 in 1. So if I'd have picked up this, if it were just the first volume, I wouldn't have considered buying any more of it. But because it's 2 in 1, the actual second volume of the book was a lot more interesting than the first volume. So I do recommend it. Do pick it up. You know, it's got really nice artwork, and it's relatively cheap. I got this for around £8 or £9, brand new. So yeah, that's it. Bloodlad, Volume 1 by Yuki Kodama. Pick it up. Okay, thank you. Bye.